G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game spawning in on the southwest side of the map in the colour orange, playing as the Abbasid dynasty representing Team 3D. We've got B. And on the east side of the map, towards that north little pocket, playing in the blue as the French, representing my insanity, we've got the Mister. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're back once again with Call to Arms. This is EGC TV's tournament. They're doing a whole bunch of tournaments this year, at least closing out this year. I'm incredibly excited for it, not just because I want to see more Age of Empires 4 action, but because I know that there's going to be some new content that's going to be coming along with it, so we're having an absolute blast of a time. If you're having a blast of the time, make sure you leave a like on this video. It does really help out with the traction of the channel. But let's talk a little bit about this. A classic matchup, Abbasid against French. A matchup that often people look at it and they go, that's got to be an Abbasid favored matchup, right? When you think about it, what do the French want to do? What's their favorite unit? It's got to be the Royal Knight. That's what they're always going for. It's what they're looking to do early. And the Abbasid dynasty's got the perfect response to that. That's the camel. The camel obviously deals quite a bit of damage to cavalry. It's got that extra little bit of damage, at least the camel rider does. But on top of that, it's also got the ability to reduce the amount of damage that it's receiving on the intake. So there are two different aspects there as to why those camels are just so damn strong. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how Mr. looks to play around it. Of course, this map is Lipany. This is EGC TV's version of Lipany, which I think always kind of spawns these little cliffs over towards these weird positions. I've noticed that the positions on these cliffs, I wouldn't say that they're fixed, but they do seem to quite regularly happen here. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this game goes. Do we have trade? I mean, the trade posts are in a pretty decent spot here. If you can get a nice little wall going along here, and that's something that does typically happen on maps like this. Often we think of Lipany as this open map, but at the end of the day, about 15 minutes in, I guarantee you both of these players are going to be walled up. Just because when you look at it, it's like, you know, easy wall across here, nice big wall across up to here. Could throw the wall down here. It's super duper easy to wall up. But obviously towards the middle, there's plenty of room for that battlefield to unfold. So we've got Mr. about to click on that age up 11 villages on food. How's that for a build order for you? School of Cavalry going to be going down with 3 villages to start it off. Other side of the map, we do see the military wings going to be coming through for B. So no real surprise there. Military wing, obviously one of the better wings at the moment. It's considered by many to be the best wing that there is. And part of the reason why is because you don't really have to think about military early when you go for the military wing, because it provides you those spearmen, those archers, and you can just say, well, I don't need to worry about going for a barracks and getting out some spearmen to defend against these knights. I can just focus on what I want to do, whether that's go for a second TC. And sure, you're not paying, or rather you are paying the full price for that second TC. Think about it, up against, say, Fertile Crescent. But it means that you're going to get that second TC up very, very quickly. And take a look at this stone spawn. Talk about a safe stone. That is one of the safest stones I've ever seen. It's literally against the edge of the map. That's an interesting spawn, isn't it? You can see just how close they are towards that edge of the map. Does it always spawn like that in Lipany? I feel like it probably doesn't. I don't ever remember seeing resources this close to the edge of the map. So maybe that's one of the little changes that they've done. You do spawn quite far away from your enemy as well here. I guess that's another thing to note, but we do see those scouts now coming through. It looks like 1 sheep getting picked off, 2 sheep's going to get taken out. Good night, sweet sheep. Not a prince, unfortunately. I was trying to throw in a joke there about kissing a toad, kissing a sheep, but I couldn't find it in there. You know, get up with the prince and everything. But anyway, let's ride on board with Mister. Let's see how he's doing. He's got 110 gold in the bank, so should be ready to throw down that, or click up, we should say, that knight. And once he's hit into the feudal age, we'll ride on board with him. As that age up's coming through. Actually, you know what? We're going to switch it over. We're going to ride on board with B, because his age up's going to come through just before it. And here it comes. There you go. The Abbasid dynasty now aged up 4 minutes and 14 seconds. On the other side of the map, though, Mister. Right up behind him, 2 seconds behind. You can see those buildings taking a little bit of time to upgrade to, or update to, that feudal age. And immediately archery range getting thrown down. Have a look here. No stone in sight at all for the Mister. So going to be going very aggressive out of the gate here. Still got those 2 villages on the gold, so it means that it's not just going to be that 1 knight and then backing off the pedal. It is full pedal to the metal, at least at this stage. I'm curious whether that's been spotted out by B. Take a look at this. He's brought the whole kit and caboodle here with his scout. He will spot that School of Cavalry landmark, and now he will get confirmation that his opponent is looking to be aggressive early with that archery range. At the same time, down towards that south side, we do know that B went with the military wing, and you can see he's just camping out down towards this south position, just wants to guarantee that that town center comes up, hands in the villagers on the stone, and will make his way. Well, he's got a nice little spot actually over here, but decides against it. Instead, going to be going forward, and I do like this. Against the French, makes a lot of sense, but you got to be really careful. You're up against a French player who has decided that they are going to get aggressive, and that's a pretty early TC coming down right now for B. 5 minutes 20, the tap starts. Let's check in with his opponent and see how Mr. is doing. See how the farmer is doing. One of the things you got to know about Mr. is he loves to farm. He loves to boom. I'm curious whether he pulls off any booming strategies today. And look at this. Knight coming right in as where you would expect it, right? On this deer hunt. Perfect little spot. He's got the wood line, but he says no. And as you can see, there's absolutely nothing down here. Villager going to get spotted, but unfortunately, too quick to react. Knight able to get around that back of the town center. So, for anybody who doesn't know about the Mist, let me explain, because this guy is a bit of a legend, I guess that's an understatement, in the Age of Empires community. So he's been around for a long time. I actually remember, you know, this is a cheeky little fact that not many people will know. Mr. and I used to play against each other in team games, and back then I was under a different name, and we would badmouth each other. That's a nice way of saying we would shit talk each other all the time. There was a lot of harsh words were said between us. I'll say that much. But look, he was a very good player, and I had a very big ego at the time. Yeah, you know how it goes when heated gaming moments. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, he's been around for a long time, and he is an incredible player. One of the things about Mr. is he's very good at reading the situation and knowing how greedy he can be. And because of that, it allows him to just play as greedy as you possibly can get without dying. It's one of the common things that you see players at the top always really good at. So Viper, as an example, is very good at doing that in Age of Empires 2. Every time I'm watching Viper, I feel like I'm just watching him teetering on the edge. It's like he's sitting on a seesaw and he's about to fall off on the seesaw, but he always manages to bring himself, over just with enough units. And, you know, it's the exact same if you've watched StarCraft and you've seen Cyril playing with the Zerg. It's always like one last round of drones. That's really such an important skill to have, and it's something that Mr. has got, and something that is sorely missed when he's not here. So it's great to have him back on the scene, playing out as the French here. I'm very excited to see what he's got in store for us today, as obviously the second TC has come down right now, and the walls are going up as we would suspect, and you can see they're coming up on both sides. Now, one thing to note about these walls for B is that they do not include the trade post. It would have been relatively easy to include this trade post. Does make it a little bit more exposed. You're going to potentially compromise your backline if you do that. So he's just gone for something a little bit safer, guaranteed that he's going to be okay from that angle. You can see that villager moving up. He's got a lot of good stuff down here. We've got 1 hunt, 2 hunts down here, plenty of food, and that's part of the reason why he's looked to wall that off. And back towards the base of Mr. B, getting chased out, saying, "Hey, don't you scout me, sir. I'm unscoutable." Well, he's not really unscoutable. He just doesn't want to be scouted. Meanwhile, Mr. What's he up to? 4 vills on stone. That's always a little bit... Oh, that's not 4 vills on stone. That's 10 vills on stone. We got ourselves another TC coming down. Now, what's interesting here is that Mr. doesn't have a lot of information about his opponent. The scout hasn't been in the base for quite some time. He's got a second scout out in the middle of the map. But that stone, it all comes down to this stone. Look at the positioning on this stone. It is so locked away here. You're not going to get past this. So you kind of got to play it from the perspective of there could be 5 town centers coming up right now for B, or there could be no town centers. And he brings the scout to the front, sees the triple military building, and that should be a pretty good sign for him that, hey, there's not a lot more town centers behind this. It's just going to be the 2 TCs for the moment. At least that's what you normally see when you see that kind of military there. So a good little sign for him, but let's see exactly how greedy he decides to be, because he's going to go for a 3rd TC. There, look at that, 350 on the dot. Absolutely smashes it. Leaves 1 vil on the stone, because 350. That's enough. That's enough. Wait. Oh, hold on. Is it bugged? Is it at like 340? Yeah, it was bugged. It was at like 349.9, and so it was saying, yeah, it's 350. We rounded it up, and then you try and build it, and it's like, so you don't have 350 resources. This is not allowed. So they used to get a little bit of a mismatch of the systems. One one that displays your resources is not the same that checks whether you've got enough resources to make a building. Devs, probably want to fix that one up. You would always want to go for the minimum amount rather than the maximum. You don't want to round that up. That's an awkward number to round up. I guess it gets hard though when you start repairing stuff and that sort of thing. And I guess you got wheelbarrow, but you wouldn't think that villagers would be gathering in those integers, but or those numbers. But I guess that they are. But anyway, look, we've got the second TC down. The third TC has come up as well for Mister. And there's a big other factor that we need to consider as the third TC comes down as well here for B. And that's that these town centers are not born equal. You've got a French player who's making villages every 17 seconds out of their town center compared to 20 seconds for the Abbasid. And there's no economic wing here. This is all military wing. So you're not paying a reduced cost for your town centers or anything like that. Of course, you are paying a reduced cost for your villages. That is a normal Abbasid bonus, but there's nothing else to it. And when you think about it, sure, villages being cheaper, that's great, but at the end of the day, it's not faster. If anything, if you want to do a boom, you want faster villager production. You don't want cheaper villager production. I mean, ideally, you'd have both, but you definitely want the faster versus the cheaper. All right, well, it looks like we've got a boar being taken up towards this north side. Age up's coming through. Economic wing going to be going down here for B. On the other side of the map, it looks like Mister going to be aging up as well. What choice is he going to go for? Obviously, there's two real big options here. You've got the guild hall, and I feel like this is a guild hall kind of game. If there's anything I know about Mister, he's a bit of a fan of the guild hall. I mean, it doesn't really feel like a Royal Institute game because there's not a big build-up of cavalry. Normally, at this point, if there's a lot of cavalry, then I would expect it. But there's not, and the walls seem to be going up. If anything, this is kind of pointing, it is going to be a guild hall. Yeah, I did suspect that this would be the case. It feels to me like an Imperial game. Like, I would not be surprised if in another 10 minutes, both of these players are in Imperial. But, I mean, they're just comfy booming right now. And one of the, often we talk about the Mister and we refer to him as the farmer. And for anybody who's new watching these videos and doesn't know, the Mister is actually a farmer, like an IRL farmer. He has entire fields that he farms. So I think he farms cotton, and then in the other seasons it's like cucumber or potato or something. I'm sorry, Mister, I can't remember what it is, but he's farming lots of stuff. And I remember he was talking about, obviously with Ukraine and stuff like that, it's affecting the prices, all that kind of thing. But he's an actual farmer. I will have you know that. Does all the work himself, so he's a hard-working guy. But also in Age of Empires 4, he is a farmer as well. He just loves to farm. He loves to boom, loves to make lots of economic units, and the age ups are coming through once again at the same time, within seconds of each other, into that castle age, and we straight away see that key technology from B right now, composite bows coming in. He's only got the 10 archers in the pocket at the moment, so it's not going to be a huge impact, the high impact technology. This technology is really strong if you can come in with a nice timing attack, because it's a power spike that you're getting. It's still a really good technology, don't get me wrong. So what it's going to do is increase the attack speed of archers, and that allows them to shoot faster, so you're doing more damage, and it's by quite a substantial amount. And when you start stacking that up with things like +1 ranged attack, and then +2 ranged attack, and then the veterancy, you get some machine guns on these bad boys right here. So that's exactly what B is going to be going for. And I'm curious to see how Mister responds to this. Obviously, we've got the guild hall, so it feels like he could be thinking about, he's going to be sticking it on food. Interesting choice going for food. We are on Lipany. There's a little bit more food on this map. Yet to see that farm transition come through from him, as we would expect. He's still got plenty of food here around these town centers. Plenty of food out here. A couple of berry patches still to go. Mister has got food for days, so don't expect to see any sort of farm transition for the moment, but he could be looking... Oh, see you, mate. See you, mate, he says. Mister could be looking for that quick Imperial Age that we talked about. So how many TCs are we on at the moment? We're on 3 TCs for Mister at the moment. Keep in mind, this is a tournament game. Now, I haven't spoiled the series at this point, or at least the first game that we've watched. I will spoil it now if you haven't already gone back and watched it. Well, shame on you. So Mister won that first game, and this is the second game. Mister's been out of the scene for quite some time. So let's see if he's able to pull off. I would call it an upset, even though he's incredibly talented. He's been farming. The man's been farming. And I think another thing I should just mention about Mister is some tournaments he won't be able to play in because it's farming season. He'll just be like, sorry, can't. It's farming season. Like, I'm planting fields 12 hours a day on that day, my friend. I won't be able to play. So it's a hard life. I'll say that much for him. He spends a lot of time outside, and as a guy who enjoys his keyboard, that doesn't sound ideal to me. But we've got keeps going up right now. 4B on this south side of the map. Gold vein protected here. Somewhat protecting the sacred site as well. He's got a beautiful big open patch of land towards the north of this keep, which is the direction that Mister is going to be looking to attack if he does come down here. That leaves him open for a flank. We do see players now both hitting that 130 population mark as they both stall out on their population for just a little bit. Monk's going to be now picking up these relics, bringing them back, and we've barely had any units exchange over the last couple of minutes. I mean, we're 15 minutes into this game. You've got less than 720 resource killed. But I tell you what, it is shaping up to be a very powerful, passionate late game. Ghulam's now in queue as well for B. Villager count 103 versus 98. Let's check in on that north side. See how Mister's doing as those relics slowly get cleaned up. He's picked up 2 so far. He's got the 3rd one out here, 4th one out here as well. Farm transition has begun. Keep in mind, he's still got berries here as well, so this will slow the farm transition down. It's always good to start that transition a little bit early. You don't want to leave it until the last minute and then you go, oh no, I've got nothing left, and then all of a sudden you've got to find wood for 46 farms. It's much nicer to have that slow transition off. 520 food in the guild hall as well. A little bit of a push coming out now from B. We're right on board with his perspective. Get a bit of an idea on what he sees. Scout together with the army. Beautiful stealth forest here in the middle as well. Really leaves it a little bit tough for those attackers. Makes defending really strong. I don't think you're going to be able to get up here. It looks like you might be able to, but I don't think you can. Outpost in the middle, Mister. Going to be spotting this all out and be all of a sudden saying, well, that kind of ruins the surprise. Oh, he tried it. He got denied, though, unfortunately. He did try and test it. How's B doing? Let's check in on this south side. Got plenty of production coming in. Farm transition's also begun. And now skewers out the scout. Has he begun picking up relics as well? Let's see if we can spot it. Double blacksmith is down. Market is down. I don't see any religious buildings. Oh, that's surprising, honestly. B's normally pretty good when it comes to picking up relics, but I guess at 111 villages, you're not thinking too much about relics. You're thinking about kill, kill, kill. And speaking of kill, 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 have a look at this. 71 versus 41 on that population difference. So let's switch it over to income. We're a little bit late to switch it to income at this point, but that is a big military advantage right now in favor of B, and on the front line going to be looking to put down Mangonels right here. You can see he's very close to that max population, so ideally you want to throw down another 2 or 3 right here. Mister on the defense, he's already got one ready to go. He's got a pretty mixed army as well. We've got archers, we've got arbaletiers, we've got a little bit of cavalry in here, a few men at arms, and of course the keep ready to hold. Knights now looking to defend on the front. Villager's going to get caught out of position. Managed to jump inside the Mangonel. Mangonel, where are you going, sir? Fortunately, those lancers, I mean, they were going in for the Mango, but the Mango managed to just scare them off. And B has, I guess he's decided that the keep is too difficult to deal with right now. He can deal with an army and he can deal with a keep, but he can't deal with them together. And that's going to buy Mister quite a little bit of time. In fact, it's not just going to buy him a bit of time. That's going to buy him a lot of time. Have a look at what we've got going on up towards this north side. Red Palace on the north side? Bit of a weird spot for the Red Palace. I would have thought somewhere down here would have been perfect for it. Though I guess that's why I'm not playing in the tournament, and that's why I'm casting the tournament, because my villagers would have been killed. Lord Doubt would have been smiling upon me. Anyway, down towards this south side. Looks like the keep here should be able to defend these villagers. Plenty of damage going to be thrown down onto the lancers. A little bit of an attack coming in. Horsemen now looking to intercept. Plenty of villagers down here. The Imperial Age comes through. It's going to buff up all of the defensive buildings. They're all going to get that arbalist emplacement, which is going to rip through everything. Mangonels, we hear them. Up towards the top side. Down towards the south. More attacks coming through. These lancers going to get cleaned up. A couple of torches getting thrown in there as well. Get out of there with your torches, sir. Those are only for buildings. And Mister once again holding. Not going to be able to find anything from this perspective, or from this position, B is. He's almost caught in a little bit of a tough spot. You can see he's got the wall to the south. Whole bunch of ranged units. Nothing that he can really use to break through this. He's got a way out, but it definitely feels like Mister might be looking for the pincer, and he gets a huge mango shot off the top rope. Everybody's gone down to less than 10 health. Take a look at this front line. Absolutely destroyed, and Mango's looking to unload again. Boom, baby. Only the one, though. Not going to be as big, not going to be as impactful, but still feels pretty damn good, doesn't it? There's nothing like watching Mister just absolutely roll stones onto the face of his opponent. Trade wing now coming up for B as well. Keep in mind that trade post still in a pretty decent position. Walls have begun to come up across this map. It's been fleshed out. You take half, I'll take half, or you take a third, I'll take a third, and have a look at this production. Speak about religious buildings. There we go, the mosque finally coming up. And it looks like B will make the escape, even though I really feel like Mister could have punished him there. 17 horsemen in the back pocket. A little bit slow to react with them, and honestly, a little bit of a mistake. Could have 100% cleaned him up there. We start to see camel upgrades coming through. Camel handling going to come in. There's a lot of great options that you've got in the Imperial Age as the Abbasid. One of the big ones I'm thinking about is camel support, increasing the armor of nearby infantry by +2. This is crazy. This is crazy. Huge amounts of armor for all of your infantry. Obviously doesn't do much against the mangonels, but against everything else, it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn shiny. Sacred Site taken on the south side. Stonewall's going to come up here as well. We are getting to those stages. The Imperial stage, the late game, and on that north side, more pushes coming through. Royal Bloodlines in for the Mister shortly. Elite upgrades. Let's check on everything. Archers don't even have veterancy yet for the Mister. Mister, you got to get those boys upgraded. Spearmen yet to be upgraded. Horsemen have been upgraded. He's got the elite upgrades for them. And just as Imperial Age comes through for B, Mister is going to be looking for a little bit of a cleanup. The mango shots from the top rope, cleaning it up completely. And all those archers going to be going the way of the Dodo as Mister begins to roll the steamroller down the hill. And he says, who's lining up? I'll take you down. Veteran archers yet to receive those upgrades just yet. No gold in the bank. 413 gold a minute. In fact, where are those villagers? Why aren't they on this gold vein? That is not a pretty sight to behold. And now the camels are out. Okay, all right. Interesting play. He's looking to move into camels here. I definitely support this. A lot of health on these guys, remember. What's he looking to pick up here? Improved processing. So slightly more resources. Definitely a little bit of a miscalculation by B not to have gold ready for Imperial Age, but you can see him completely outnumbered. Mister looking to bring down that enemy army and just clean it up, and at this point he's just taking such good trades. Just all of these units getting rallied in towards this front. There needs to be a new rally point set towards this back line. They're just getting thrown away, and you can see him going to start to pull resources or pull those units back over towards that east side, and he's getting caught out of position here by his own, I guess, by his own walls, and the keep gets thrown down on the defensive here. You can see that he needs something around here. He needs a rally point in here. But it just feels so awkward because he's got all of his production on the south side that's rallying towards the north. The production in the east is also rallying towards the north, and they get caught around this hill. So Mister definitely exploiting that quite well. Really solid trades there for him. We can see the difference in destroyed value right there. Mister with triple the destroyed value of his opponent. The power of the French micro right there with that beautiful timing on those elite forces, those elite horsemen. Breaking through the walls now. We've got the stone walls on the south side. They don't want anything to happen down there. They said, you know what, if you don't look, I won't look. And they both agreed, but we've got traders coming out. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. The traders are online, or at least slowly getting there. We've got hand cannoneers looking to join the party as well. Camels should be able to clean this up. He needs to get elite camels yet to come through. We can see that he's looking to pick up camel rider barding now, so get himself a little bit more armor on these guys. Spears also joining in, and oh my lord, there's a lot of units here all of a sudden. I don't know where B managed to scrounge these together from, but I'm impressed. Keep going to be going up a little bit slow, only the 7 villages, but all he needs in theirs. No, why do they look like they're elite? Because they've got the gold on them. But B now, I mean, at this point, he needs to get elite upgrades. This is the key. Arbolatria have been upgraded. Mangonel shot. It always looks so weird when they duck and dive and manage to make their way through. Scout's going to be looking to try and connect with the Mango. We'll be able to find it. Little splits coming in. Second Mangonel joining the party as well. Horsemen coming in over from the east, and you can see the upgrades coming through from the Arbolatria. They've put down their shields. They said, we're not leaving anywhere. We've got our Pavis, extending that range by an extra 1 tile. You know, I called this out. I said crossbows are so damn good in this meta. I'm wondering why the French and crossbows are not words that we don't hear more often. Because we really should. These guys, they just put their shields down and they just laugh at everybody. Look at the damage that they're doing. Barely taking a scratch. The armor on these things are insane. 8 + 8 armor. Wow. That is a huge amount of armor. 8 melee armor, 8 ranged armor, and that's not even his final form. I mean, that probably is his final form. No, it's not his final form. He's got an extra 2 melee armor that he could be getting on that. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely insane, the amount of armor those things have got. Mr. and his Arbitria. Oh, my lord. Look at the numbers here. Cannon coming out here as well. Looking to put the siege on. Looking to put the herd on. Trade route being interrupted. These guys trying to make their way downtown. But unfortunately, not going to have it the same way Vanessa Carlton did. A really sad state of affairs here in the base of B. That was a good reference. I hope you guys like that reference. Town Center going down? Oh, because he gets the Arbitria bonus. Oh, no way. Oh, that is so... Okay. For anybody who's wondering what is happening right now, let me explain it, okay? This landmark here, the Red Palace, when it is complete, it gives every town center an obelisk emplacement, which is... It's ludicrous, okay? So you can see here, activates an obelisk emplacement on all keeps and town centers. So what he's going to do is put this town center down and use the keep as a, or use the town center as a pseudo keep. So when it comes here, look at the damage that it's going to do. 63 damage, and it's just sitting there firing every 1.5 seconds. You can see it right now, and it's like 2 shots units. It's that much damage. This TC is insane from the Mister. He can just put TCs everywhere. It's essentially like putting down a keep, but at half the cost. I mean, or half the stone cost, which is the big one, right? Like, you don't care too much about wood in the late game, but you damn well bloody care about stone. You can see 1/3 the cost, almost 1/3 the cost. And now pushing into the base, 26 minutes in. Mr. going to be looking to throw down a keep a little bit more aggressively here. He's got plenty of Arbitria as they put the Pavisas down. You can see they've got that armor, that extra damage coming through as well. These guys have got so much damage. Look at the range, 6 tiles of range. The new longbow is here, ladies and gentlemen, and it's the brains of Mr. that is going to empower it to take down his enemy here. This is just a beautiful display that we're getting to witness here. Let's check in on the backside. Let's see how we're going back here. Farm transition slowly coming in. How many villas are on farms at the moment? 40 villagers on farm. So he's got, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Those nice big farmlands. Keep gonna get moved forward a little bit here. And the cannon's firing off. He's got the 2 on the backside. Gonna look to focus down the House of Wisdom. Just remember, the Abbasid dynasty, only with those 2 landmarks. If they do go down, that's it. That's the end of the game. Culverin gonna look to try and fire. We'll get the first shot off. Micro's decent, though, from Mr. B not gonna be able to find it here. And unfortunately, we see that Culverin just gonna get eaten alive. There's a 3rd cannon that joins the party as well. It looks like B won't have a choice at this point. He's just gonna get forced out of the game. No G's needed, my friend. You're just gonna get tapped out. It is like a... That is like a rear naked choke hold in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match, my friends. Yeah, I mean, at this point, B doesn't even get to tap. He's out cold. That is not a lot of gold. I would have thought that would have been more. 26 gold? There's no way. They must be going to the wrong route. Yeah, I think they're going to this House of Wisdom. Indeed they are. It's a sad state of affairs. He's moved them over. Elite Camel Riders have come through, but no biology just yet, which gives them a little bit of extra health. The landmark goes down, and an additional town center in the base. This is not a BMTC. This is a legitimate TC, and good game is going to get called here. Fellas, ladies, gentlemen, make sure you go and check out EGC TV this weekend, 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday for the next round. Mister's going to be playing, B's going to be playing. That's where this game came from. So go say good day, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.